All right. So the first group is resignations. Fortunately, all of those individuals are still employed with us. They went from those ancillary positions to Alex is going to be an English doctor. Christina is a special ed aide for us now. Cynthia is a special ed aide for us now. And Jeffrey is a special ed aide for us now. Okay? So they haven't left. They just moved a little bit. I sent this to you in 2 documents.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I know you guys went through all 200 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Maternity leave. Our social worker at Oak Forest High School has her second one on the way. Okay, and then we have a new employee, social worker at Oak Forest High School. We stole her from Midlothian 146, where she's had 6 years of experience. Her name is Carrie Fitzmaurice. She no longer wanted to work with 5th through 8th graders. I don't know why. And decided she would like to work with high schoolers.
Ooh. Oh, she'll see. She'll want K through 2 after this.
Next up, K through 2. Michael is returning to us. He's been working with us for a few years now in a variety of capacities. So he's going to be teaching one class each semester at Oak Forest. He's a social studies teacher. But he's student taught at Hillcrest, did some subbing in family and consumer science, so he's been around. Good kid. And then a name you may have heard before, Jerry Ward is a retired industrial technology teacher. He's been a part-timer the last 2 years, so we brought him back again as a part-timer to teach the auto classes. So he's going to be 40%, and he'll be at Bremen High School. Okay. If you want to see any of this stuff, just poke me or say, hey, I want to see some of that stuff. Then we have Miss Walter, who's going to be teaching only one section of English, one semester at Hillcrest, or excuse me, at Bremen. She has been an English doctor at Hillcrest the previous 2 years. And she's going to continue doing that and also be able to teach the one class. So she'll do the ancillary English doctor during the day for 5 hours, and then she'll teach the one class at Bremen. She's a graduate of Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. Science tutor. You ever hear of this gentleman's name? Terry Stevens. He worked for the district for 975 years. No, for a long time. And as you know, we have science, English, math tutors in all of our learning centers, so we're bringing Terry back. He should know the curriculum, I would hope.
Yes. The kids will probably relate to him very well, too.
I would think so. And Hope Moore Mezzo is also returning as an English tutor. She was in the FLC last year, so she'll be returning again this year as an English tutor. And that's also at Bremen High School. And then we have some permanent sub positions. First one is Miss Dillon. Ashley Dillon, graduate of St. Xavier. She has a Bachelor of Arts in Social Sciences and secondary ed. She's going to be doing a permanent sub position. All of these are permanent substitutes. So each school has 2 of them. They work 4 days a week. Okay. So as not to exceed the 30 hours for the American, the ACA. Okay. And they do a variety of things, mainly subbing in classes, but they do all kinds of stuff for us if they're not needed as permanent subs. Okay, Miss Gunther, graduate of University of Illinois, also a Titan alumni, is going to be working at Tinley Park as their permanent sub. And it's my understanding she's also going to be doing some graduate school at night while she's doing that. And then Mr. Schmuskowitz, he was doing substitute teaching at Kirby, District 140 for the last few years. He's going to be at Oak Forest High School. And then the last permanent sub there is Asia Galbraith, and she's also going to be at Tinley. And this is one that really intrigues me because my guess is if you want to be a permanent sub, you should also be able to be a yoga instructor. So she's been a yoga instructor for nearly a year and understands the need to get to know each individual.
Awesome.
And if nothing else, if they start freaking out, she'll bring them back into Zen.
Learn how to breathe.
Patient and poised.
Yes, bring them back to Zen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bilingual tutors. These were added as a result of grants that we received. So we're adding bilingual tutors at Bremen, much like the tutors that are in the Freshman Learning Center and the Sophomore Learning Center. These guys work specifically with our ELL students. This first lady here is actually a alumnus of Bremen. And both of her siblings were bilingual ELL students. So she's very eager to work with our ESL students. She's also been a bilingual preschool teacher. So that is Milagros Ramirez. She'll be returning to us as an alum. And then Roberto Sarli currently does work as an advisor and a tutor. And where was he doing that at? I wrote it down and I don't remember what I did. Well, we'll come back to him. How's that? And then Karina Molina, also going to be at Bremen. She's finishing up her degree in elementary ed and special ed with a minor in Spanish. And also her siblings were ELL students. So pretty cool that we've got some people coming to work with our ELL students that have experience in their own families. Okay. Math tutors. These are all returners. Probably seen these names for about the last 5 years now. Loretta Gesman, former math teacher. Sue Bednarski, former math teacher. Paloma Salcida has been a math tutor at FOC last year. She's also been done work in the summer academy program. And Christina Grannon actually was a full-time teacher at Bremen High School, but decided that she wanted to spend more time with her family, so she's just going to be doing math tutoring for us, and she'll be doing that at Oak Forest High School. Okay, so all of those are returners. Roberta Jones and Mike McCosey are also returners in the learning center. They're both facilitators for the learning center. Mike has been doing it for I think 7 years, and Miss Jones, this is her second year, going on her second year. So Roberta's going to be at Tinley, and Mike is at Bremen. Main job for those guys is to make sure that they maintain contact with the teachers and they kind of facilitate the tutors. Make sure any kid that's failing math, science, or English gets the help that they need. And they're up on who's actually not doing well in math, science, and English. Okay.
Answer questions?
Yeah.
That's the bilingual. So we just have the bilingual grant for Bremen? Is it just?
No, it's for the whole district.
Oh, for the whole
district.
Okay.
That's just where the need is.
Because we have the high population.
Yes. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. Sophomore Learning Center at Bremen. Susan Inslee is a returner from last year, where she served as a tutor. Graduate of Illinois Wesleyan with a Bachelor's of Arts in Education. And then this other lady is also returning from last year, Jody Riley, who's a tutor in the Sophomore Learning Center. These are also positions that were added through grant funds. So you know, you're wondering, where did we get all this money for tutors? Grant funding.
I was just going to ask, did our need for tutors skyrocket, or?
Well, no, we actually we've had quite a few in the building, but these were actually added at the second semester of last year through a grant.
Oh,
and so we're able to keep them
okay.
for a year and a half. Yeah.
Well, good. The more resources we have for the kids,
Absolutely.
the better.
Okay. And then Sarah O'Brien will be Sophomore Learning Center Facilitator at Bremen, graduate of St. Ambrose University with a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Sociology. She also has a master's in school counseling. Okay. We have 2 project managers we're recommending. Emily, well, first of all, Shannon Gromley is returning from last year. She was the project manager at Tinley Park last year. These are, project manager is kind of a bad name for this, but essentially these are individuals who work in with the counselors. They kind of do all the grunt work that the counselors necessarily don't wish to do. A lot of testing. They do some counseling, but it's a lot of assisting the counselors, making sure that they're rocking and rolling. Okay. And then Miss Amity completed her school counseling internship at Lincoln Way Central High School, and she will be at Oak Forest. Okay, and these are $100 a day, 4 days a week, 7 hours a day individuals. So they work pretty much Monday through Thursday. Pretty good schedule. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to try that one of these days.
What's that?
Monday through Thursday.
Okay. And then we're also bringing forward 2 student assistants. Those are our former campus monitor positions. They kind of roam around, make sure the kids are going in the right direction, supervise the lunchroom, the hallways, things of that nature. We have 2 alumni returning. One is a graduate of Hillcrest High School, that's Prentice Rogers. He also graduated from NIU with an English degree. And then we have Mrs. Williams, Kansas Williams, who's a graduate of Tinley Park High School, who will be returning to work in the capacity of student assistant.
Now, do we only have student assistants at those 2 schools?
No, each of our schools has 1.
Okay.
Or, that's not true. Each of our schools has 2, except for Oak Forest, because Oak Forest still has campus monitors, or supervision monitors. The position of supervision monitor is a best position, and not this current contract that we're in the process of negotiating, but the last one, it was negotiated that once the individuals who are supervision monitors retire or leave us, that we wouldn't be replacing that position on a salary and benefits position, but we would be replacing them with these individual student assistants.
Oh, okay.
The concept was that really was never meant to be kind of a career situation. It was more meant to be somebody young, out of school, looking to get their foot in the door kind of thing. So quite a bit of savings for the district. Those are $100 a day positions now as opposed to salary positions.
Okay.
So, but we still have 2.
So at the other 2 schools, do we still have retirees?
At Oak Forest only. There's 2.
At Oak Forest only,
Yeah.
okay. And how about Bremen?
Bremen has 2
We
student
already have
assistants. Yeah,
the assistants
Hillcrest
there.
has 2 student assistants,
Okay.
and then Tinley Park has 2 also. A long, convoluted answer to a pretty simple question. All right, then we have English doctors. These guys are the ones who grade our essays for us. So the first one here is Andrew Curtis. He'll be working at Hillcrest. He has a bachelor's degree in history.
Me.
That's you. Okay. Bachelor's degree in history from Hillsdale College. He also student taught at Bremen High School. Okay. And then Kate Conyer will be working at Bremen. Graduate of Benedictine in English Language and Literature with a minor in Spanish. She also completed a master's in secondary ed, and she student taught at Shepherd High School. And Mr. DeLuga, who I mentioned before, is going to be an English doctor at Oak Forest High School. He's also serving as a part-time teacher at Oak Forest High School in social studies. Kind of like that other person. He'll be doing 1 class during the day, and then he'll serve as English doctor the rest of the day. Okay? And then Colleen Price at Tinley Park High School has a secondary education degree in English Language Arts, and she has taught at Shepherd High School. Okay? And then last but not least, in the English doctors, Miss Albrecht, Alexandria Albrecht, completed her degree at Indiana State University. She's been a long-term sub and has a background in English as well. So those individuals are $130 a day. It's a little bit more, as you probably see there. Again, we asked them to take a whole bunch of essays, use the rubrics that have been created by the English teachers, and then grade them. These are people that we'd like to keep relatively consistent throughout the year, because it's one of those situations where there has to be some reliability and dependency with respect to how they grade. And as you can see, fortunately, we actually get pretty qualified people to do it. So, okay. And then a math doctor that's a math tutor, that shouldn't be math doctor. Math tutor at Bremen. Ms. Collins has 10 years of math experience at De La Salle High School and Joliet West High School, and she'll be working at Bremen. Okay. I do want to show you this next piece. We're recommending a new position for the district. So I know you, like I said, I know you read all 200 pages of this. This is the second document I sent you to. Just so you know. This one only had 140 pages in it. There we go. So when Gwen retired, I stole Sue Smolinski from Terry. Sue's job was originally the assistant to facilities and technology. That job has kind of not necessarily gone away, but it has evolved to try to include some things that we also need more of. And so Bill came up with the concept that it would be beneficial if we had somebody who could assist both in facilities and technology, much like the old position, but also to bring in somebody who has some business skills to be able to serve in a purchasing agent kind of role. So that's what this new position is. It'll still be quote unquote an executive secretary for Terry and the technology department, but it'll also include these duties here.
Well, and it's somewhat similar to how Brittany was assisting Tom, and now
Right.
she's really carrying that role.
Yeah.
in a
So
way.
quite a few of the positions within the business department have been collapsed over the years. So this person will partially report to Terry and partially report to Brittany.
And what's the technology end of it involved then?
I think a lot of the ordering, a lot of the inventory for the technology department.
But anyone applying will know they're kind of going to have almost 3 people that they're going to be assisting in a way.
2 masters, yeah.
Yeah.
2 masters.
Well, yeah, 2 and 2.5, really, right? With the technology person, would they be
Yeah.
helping
right.
them as well,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
And what kind of salary are we looking for that?
Those people start right around 50,000, depending on who we find with experience. Maybe there's somebody who comes to us with background experience actually already doing a lot of this stuff. I don't know, but right around 50,000. Okay?
Mhm.
Good to go? All right, then we had a bunch of resignations from our paraprofessionals. Lisa Jett, Deshaun Dockery, and Camille Alford, all paraprofessionals, resigned, got other positions. And then we also had a resignation of Gannon Novak, who we actually hired for a little while. He served as a network engineer in the technology department and then went back to his old position because they told him they were going to pay him more money. And then also Terrence Griffin has resigned as a weekend custodian at Tinley Park. Okay.
Is he fairly new?
Terrence Griffin?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
he's been with us a while. As a matter of fact, he has a drafted, there it is right there. Yeah, he's been with us for a while.
Okay.
The three paraprofessionals, I mean, is that just kind of their, like, how come we had three resign at the same time?
You find jobs. They're all certified teachers.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure, like, their contract ended all at the same time or something, or?
No, they're part of the best.
Okay.
And at the end of every year, we notify them, you know, there's a very good likelihood that there's a position for them in the new school year. Sometimes it's dependent on the number of special ed kids.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, because there is quite a bit of turnover, because they find certified teaching jobs, we
Mhm.
bring, you know, they kind of know if they want to come back in that capacity, they can.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? All right, and then we have the employment. Francisca Perez is going to be a full-time bilingual aide at Oak Forest High School. Currently, Francisca is directing before and after-school programs at a local elementary school. Obviously, she's bilingual. This position is part of BEST, so the bilingual tutors were $1 a day positions. This one actually is a BEST position. Okay. And again, as you see, it's at Oak Forest because there's a need there as well. Okay, and we do have a bilingual aide BEST position at Bremen as well. All right. Also, the employment of Joe McCormick as a weekend custodian for Bremen. Joe is currently the head custodian at Mokina School District, so he's looking for some extra cash on the weekends. Lance Carabell, second shift maintenance at Hillcrest High School. Lance is currently working for the Archdiocese in Chicago in the same capacity. If you want me to, again, let me know if you want me to show you any of this stuff. As a custodian. Kristen Huey is going to be a special ed aide at Oak Forest High School. Kristen currently works for the co-op, the Southwest Co-op, in our Destiny program at Oak Forest. And she will actually be a special ed aide in the Destiny program as well. Okay. Then we have Sean Walsh, who is the new technology support specialist at Bremen. We had a retirement in that position this summer. He's been doing the same position, technology support specialist, for the past 5 years at Palos Elementary. Okay. Amber Pennington is going to be a part-time secretary in the math department, and she'll be out of Hillcrest High School, and she's been working in the Chicago Public Schools as a secretary. And then Christina Lim will be a special ed aide at Tinley. She's been a permanent sub at Tinley. She's worked at Ombudsman, which I don't know if you're familiar with Ombudsman or not, but that's one of our alternative placements for some of our students who have struggled either behaviorally or academically. And then she's also a day camp counselor.
I'm noticing that with all of these, and maybe it was an oversight before, but these are all having effective dates prior to the next board meeting, so they're already working?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like a check the box when it goes to the board?
Well, one of the things that in some, obviously we need to get individuals in front of kids.
Mhm.
And I think you guys know, who've been on the board for a few years, this time of year, hiring is kind of crazy.
Mhm.
The last packet and this packet, obviously this packet with 300 pages or
Right.
so, is kind of nutty. The ideal situation would be that they get approved they get approved at this committee and then they get approved at an official board meeting. Unfortunately, because of the necessity to get them in front of kids,
Okay.
we're not always able to do that.
Okay.
And so Bill has asked Debbie if it would be appropriate to get them started. And it's a practice that we've had probably, I don't know,
Okay, well,
Evelyn.
she talked to Debbie ahead
No.
of time of yours.
I can assure you that these individuals go through all of the,
Mhm.
dot the i's, cross the t's, criminal background
Well,
checks,
when I read the 200 pages,
references, all that stuff.
I picked up on that
none,
300 pages
none of
I
the
read.
people that you see on these sheets that come to you for these meetings hasn't gone through
Sure.
all of that
No,
stuff.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
it's the same protocols they have to go through as would anybody who would go through a normal board approval process. It's just
Because of timing.
because of
And aren't
timing.
they told pending board approval?
Well, I don't know, Evelyn, because not all the time I get to speak with them.
Oh, okay.
It's a matter, sometimes it's a situation where the supervisor will call us and say, I need so-and-so to start X date.
Mhm. Okay.
And especially in the special ed realm, with the special ed aides, a lot of time that has to do with one-on-one situations or, the requirement to get people in classrooms immediately
Okay.
to make sure that we're meeting the IEP.
So then we really don't need are you still going to bring them to the board?
Oh, yeah,
you are?
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, because they still need official
Approval.
official
Yes.
approval.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Jeffrey Bodie is going to be a special ed aide at Tinley. He's a Tinley Park alum. He also is currently coaching at Tinley Park. You guys know him?
What is he coaching?
That's a good question.
I do not recognize the name.
What's the name again?
Bodie.
Jeffrey Bode.
Bodie.
See if I can find it. Getting close.
It's page 272, right?
Yeah. It's not, isn't it? Like I said, this is the second packet. There's 40 pages in it.
There he is.
There you go.
Oh, John supports.
Where's Culver Stockton? Anybody know?
Where what is?
Culver Stockton Sports?
Over I was in Indiana.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
It's a military school.
Maybe it says on here where he's coaching.
Well, he likes all of it, so it could be
There you
anything.
go. Baseball.
University
Baseball.
coaching coach.
Okay.
Baseball.
Baseball.
I don't have any baseball players.
Okay.
You don't?
Next is Herb Alford.
You know the baseball coach.
Going to be is recommended special ed aide. He's also a Hillcrest alum, PE degree, and he has experience with special needs kids working at Sunshine Daycare. And last but not least is Cynthia Goodwin, will be at Hillcrest, also an alumni, and they stole her. She was their permanent sub, and she's been their permanent sub since 13-14. Was that 25 words or less?
Close.
Not even 25 minutes. Close.